why do I have a feeling that this article is gonna piss so many people off, including myself? Number one, I love Fei Long. He's one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter 2. But the fact that he's not gonna come back for Street Fighter 6, something tells me the family of Bruce Lee is gonna end up causing a big issue. Just because they didn't like or portray Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that doesn't mean that they should not add those characters back into the game. Like, I just feel like the majority of people in Hollywood just, okay, we get it, your father is an iconic figure. Why would you not want any of these characters back in the game? I don't get it. It seems like Fei Long, a popular character based on the late Bruce Lee, will not return in Street Fighter 6 or any Street Fighter installment for that matter. Taking to YouTube to speak with fans in a recent live stream, longtime Capcom and Street Fighter composer Daniel Lindholm stated that the Lee family has refused to license comedic or comic homage to Bruce Lee in the media. This essentially means that Fei Long or any other character based on Bruce Lee may never be allowed to join a Street Fighter game. They, Lee family, basically said that any kinds of resemblance to Mr. Bruce Lee is now ominous for comedic effect or comic stuff, said Lindholm. It needs to be honorable. So that's why we won't see Fei Long again. Fei Long is not alone. There are a number of other fighting game characters that are based on the late martial artist and actor. There is Law from Tekken and Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat as a few examples. If they come out their mouth and say that they don't want Liu Kang or any other martial arts character based off of Bruce Lee to return in any future sequels, I'm gonna flip out. Just because you didn't like them portraying Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time, that doesn't mean that Capcom or NetherRealm or Namco Bandai should take off Bruce Lee characters off the game. Because you're gonna be offended of what they're being inspired by your father Bruce Lee. Why all of a sudden do you have a problem with this now? Bro, this is stupid. Fans believe that the Lee family took a stance after seeing the comedic portrayal of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood film. If that's the case, Law may also not return in Tekken 8. The same would be the case for Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 12. I mean, the stands as far as you, by all means. Fei Long was never portrayed with any comedic effort in the Street Fighter franchise. Capcom could also discuss the matter with the Lee family, but could also let the matter slide to avoid any unpresented legal aspects. What? So it's because, like I said, they did not like of how Hollywood portrayed Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. Anybody who was inspired by Bruce Lee is doing this in honor. Not to make fun of him, not disrespect to him, but the fact that you don't want any of these Bruce Lee inspired characters to be returning to the game. Fei Long, Liu Kang, and martial law? I swear, man, Bruce Lee family are a trip. I hope this is not true. I hope this is not their way of saying F you to the fans of Street Fighter or any other fighting game franchise that does not want any Bruce Lee character in the fighting game. And yet you allow UFC to create a Bruce Lee fighter in a UFC game, and yet you don't want Capcom or Mortal Kombat in them to even be in the game. Grow up. Seriously. Your father may be an influence in all of the martial arts stars you have now, or anybody lives in general. But you shouldn't get mad at them for creating characters that are based off of Bruce Lee. You didn't say about that back in the 90s when Fei Long debuted in Super Street Fighter 2, or when martial law debuted in Tekken, or when Liu Kang debuted in Mortal Kombat. You weren't crying about that back then, so why crying about it now? Make it make sense, y'all. It's sad that, you know, the Bruce Lee family, Shannon Lee, and everybody else, all of a sudden, you're worried about them disrespecting Bruce Lee like that. Like, first of all, they did not disrespect Bruce Lee by any shape or form. Just because you didn't like them portraying your father in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that doesn't mean they should take all of the fighting game characters off the game for the upcoming sequels. MK12 is coming soon. Tekken 8 is coming soon. Why cry about it now? Why get offended? Listen, this article made me so mad, yo. Like, I can't believe they don't want any Bruce Lee character, well, Bruce Lee based character from fighting game franchises come back for upcoming sequels. Unbelievable, bruh. Unfreaking believable. Fei Long made his last appearance in Street Fighter 4 as a playable character and made only a cameo appearance as part of the storyline of Street Fighter 5. Capcom has only confirmed Ryu and Luke for the final Street Fighter 6 roster, with the reveal taking place in the coming months, which has been speculated to be during the Summer Fest 2022 between June and July. Well, we all know that, you know, they confirmed based on the trailer. But I'm still mad about the Bruce Lee family, and now all of a sudden they want to have a problem with it. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I gotta hear y'all thoughts on this. This is so ridiculous. That's why I'm loud. That's why I'm pissed off, because you didn't like how they did your father in the Hollywood film. Now all of a sudden you want to stop them for creating more fighting game characters based off your father. Man, people just can't have. I swear, we can never have nice things nowadays because everybody is offended over one thing. I truly hope that Daniel is watching this. If you're watching this, dude, please convince the family to keep the characters in the franchise. Just find some ways to just get them to understand that these companies created these characters inspired by Bruce Lee, and they're beloved by many fans all over the world. Don't let that anybody else get offended. Their words stop you for releasing Street Fighter 6. Put him in the game. Put Fei Long back in Street Fighter 6. Don't worry about what they say. This is y'all's company. Y'all are allowed to do what y'all want to do with the character. Pathetic, y'all.